And you're going to love her too. Put your hands together for Tassey, everybody!
So, my name is Tassey, like you just said, and I'm actually a musician. I write really serious, heavy, emotional songs, so I thought I'd be a good comedian. And it's hard for me because it's a lot easier for me to sing on stage than it is for me to talk on stage. And I was on the phone with my husband the other night, and I'm like, oh my god, I am so fucking stressed out about my comedy class. But it's true, I feel kind of nervous. It reminds me of the first time I auditioned for a band. I lived in Tampa, Florida, it's a big city. Yeah, Tampa. And I was 15 years old, and it was 1973. I get to the audition, and I walk in, and every single guy in the band looks exactly like Jesus. And so I looked there, I'm really scared, and I'm like, do you think I could go into the bathroom and sing? So I went into the bathroom, and I locked myself in there with a microphone, and Jesus and the disciples are in the living room with a speaker. And I'm like, in the white room with black curtains is the station. So I get the job. And that's how I started my music career. I was thinking that tonight it'd be really great if I could start my music career from over there in the bathroom. But my teacher was like, no fucking way, Hex. Here I am. I can't see a thing up here. So, anyway, uh-oh. Wow. No, I forgot something. Well, I can't remember what it was. Sorry about that. Somebody else should say something funny.
How did you come to Vermont?
Oh, yeah. Maggie, my savior. Yeah, so here I am. I came to Vermont as a mail-order bride, actually. And I was touring around with my band in Florida and met this poet from Vermont. His name was Artemis Tishman. Tall, handsome guy with a handlebar mustache and like a Greek fisherman's cap. And he was a really, he was a really good writer, and when he went back to Vermont, he would send me some really nice, heavy, serious, emotional letters, which I loved. But one day I get in the mail just a one-way train ticket to Vermont, and written across it, it says, "See the world." And I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to see the world. I don't know where Vermont is. But I quit my job and I put on my best, go into the country clothes. So I've got clogs on and a skirt and a little hat and a plaid tie. I look a lot like Annie Hall. And I get on the train and I take my watch off and I throw it in the trash can. As if time does not exist in Vermont. And I get here, and it doesn't really work out between me and the poet, Artemis Tishman, unfortunately. I know it's kind of sad because, I could have married a handsome poet. But right up the road, there was Goddard College, yeah, Goddard. I went up to check it out. I decided maybe I'd go back to school. I go up to check it out, and everybody there looks just like Jesus. And they have some really cool classes. They had ecology, vegetarianism, nakedness, radicalism, sex with everybody, and puppetry. And I'm like, oh my god, I can't decide. This looks like so much fun. I want to do all of it. How do I decide? So I'm like, I pick out the best looking teacher, and that is how I became a photography student. There are some perks to being a photography student because I know it is not like this at all anymore. But it used to be that people were obsessed with seeing pictures of themselves. And back then, if you were giving yourself a selfie, that was something else entirely, did not involve an iPhone. So, there were no iPhones back then. You know how to use it. It was a great way to like get to know a really cute guy better, because I don't know if you know this either, but men really like to see naked pictures of themselves. So, well, let's just face it. So, that is, oh right, so that means I was sort of majoring in helping people with their selfies when I was a daughter. So I meet this really nice hippie boy. His name is Brooks Morton Jones III. He was majoring in penny whistle. And even though his name sounds sort of like he is a 13th century duke, he looked just like a hippie boy, like everybody else. And I thought that everybody dressed like that because they were like me and they could not afford new clothes. But I guess it was a little different for Brooks. He takes me to meet some of his friends, Boo and Muffy. And when I get there to New Hampshire, what they like to do for fun is this, really sort of common hippie pastime. I'm sure all of you know what that is. Yeah, it's actually skeet shooting. Naked. So there's Brooks, and he's got this gun. He's like, pull! And Boo throws this object that sort of looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy up into the air, and Brooks blasts it to smithereens. Goes into pieces everywhere. It turns out that rich people have no problem exploding priceless pieces of Americana for fun. Because this thing that looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy was actually the one and only, very first antique clay prototype for the Pillsbury Doughboy. That's because Boo and Muffy were actually Pillsbury's. So then Brooks wants me to meet his family, and he takes me over to Cleveland, and I do. I meet his family. I meet the butler and the gardener. I meet the maid, and then I meet his mother, who looks exactly like Mrs. Howell from Gilligan's Island. And she's like, okay, we should go to the club and play racquetball. And I'm like, oh, that sounds fun, but I had never even heard of racquetball. And apparently I didn't have the right clothes for racquetball either, so she dresses me up in one of her 80-year-old rich lady outfits. It's like baggy white shorts and a sleeveless polyester white shirt with like a nautical theme. You have to imagine that I have like this big frizzy hair and hairy armpits and hairy legs, and I look really sexy. And so I go looking like that with Brooks to the club, and we get in the elevator, and there's a floor that is marked men only. But I think it really should have said Mad Men only, because I push the button, the doors open, there's like cigars and scotch and smoke and old men and leather. And Brooks is like yanking me back into the elevator by the back of his mother's shorts. Get in here! Needless to say, Brooks's mom beat the shit out of me at racquetball because I was after all, a darkroom dwelling, 3-pack-a-day smoking hippie. The next morning I cannot get ow, yeah. The next morning I cannot get out of bed because every muscle in my body is broken. And Brooks's mom, Mrs. Howell, personally serves me 3 meals a day. She didn't send the maid, she came herself, just to let me know that I really did not belong there. Yeah, so 3 days later, Brooks calls me up, I'm back at Goddard. Brooks calls me up, and he breaks up with me. I know, it's really sad because I was like this close to marrying a rich guy. But don't feel too bad for me because I did pretty well at Goddard. I got straight A's in radicalness and sex with everybody.